Looks matter, money matters, and status matters. If you have none of the above, you will not matter. Discovering my purpose and grinding relentlessly toward those objective goals gave my life meaning. And as a result, every part of my life improved. It became a lot easier to separate the wheat from the chaff with dating prospects, and understand who had relationship potential, and who is low quality or simply not the best match for me. And when those relationships don't pan out, it's okay because there's someone who's a better match. High status men aren't worried about other men taking their girls for two reasons. 1. They don't think it will happen. 2. They think if it does happen, oh well, damn her. If a janitor was hitting on a CEO's wife, the CEO probably wouldn't be worried. She very likely wouldn't want this janitor. But if she did, oh well, he can find a new girl. However, if a CEO was hitting on a janitor's wife, he'd probably be panicking. They both have an idea of their own status and act accordingly. The janitors are worried, but the CEO isn't. Women subliminally pick up on this behavior, and it heavily influences their opinion. If you act worried that your girl will get stolen, it will imply to her that you're a low-status male. If you couldn't care less that some guy is flirting with her, it implies that you're a high-status male. Here are some cold hard truths about dating. 1. Dating isn't fair. Women expect you to have your shit together and know what to say. You aren't allowed to make mistakes since you are easily replaceable. You need to learn from experienced men or learn on your own by putting yourself and your ego on the line. 2. Majority of women will never court men. Don't take advice about dating women from straight women. They have no idea what it's like to court women. They have a harder time processing rejection and are allowed to be emotional and physical when they don't get their own way. You aren't, and the same rules don't apply to you. You need to understand double standards and use them to benefit yourself. 3. Real life is nothing like in Hollywood movies. You need to have a stable life and realistic expectations about yourself and the women you want to date. You need to lower your expectations and get your head out of the bubble. This isn't Hollywood. Women don't have to court, so they will live their lives believing Prince Charming will fall on their lap because they can. You can't afford to do the same thing. The perfect girl won't come to you. You have to go find her. The average woman will have multiple men in her DMs trying to get her attention. The average man doesn't. You need to seek what you want, and if what you want isn't attainable for your current status, you will have to change to get what you want. 4. You need to be assertive. Most women expect you to take the lead. That means you make the first move. You make the most of the effort when building a relationship. You need to be the one to ask her out on a date, and you have to be the one to take the lead. Most modern women talk about independence and equal treatment, but not when it comes to dating. If you are an average guy, women will not court you, will not chase you, and will not make an effort to get to know you without you making the first move. They don't want to lose the advantage they have in dating, and they won't, so don't expect them to take the lead in dating no matter what. 5. Don't assume all women are good. Some people want to have a toxic, chaotic relationship. They don't want stability because that is boring to them, and they want to be treated like a mat because they enjoy getting stepped on and used. Learn to identify people like this and avoid them at all costs. 6. The competition is fierce. One of my friends was devastated when a guy she had been talking to for 2 weeks suddenly disappeared. She saw him back online a few days later, but ignored her last messages. According to her, their conversations were too deep and meaningful for him to ghost her like that, and it perplexed her. Well, the answer was quite obvious to me. He was most likely talking to many people at once and decided to move forward with someone else in the end. She was among many of his options, and because they were only chatting online, he didn't feel like he owed her an explanation. That's why you should minimize chatting online and quickly progress to meeting in person. If there isn't a real date planned within a week of establishing contact on an app, it's best to move on. The upside is, by the same logic, there is always another fish in the sea for you. 7. Dating is a game. It's a game that is rigged to favor women on the surface. Since you get to choose what women to go after, you have more freedom in choosing your partner. Since most women don't go after men, they are stuck with whoever decides they are attractive enough to approach them. Use this advantage to better yourself and accept the reality that dating isn't fair or equal, and that you have to look out for yourself and be selfish to get what you want. 8. Ground your ego. When you learn to not get overly upset at rejection or feel overly proud about getting laid, dating becomes a lot less emotionally chaotic. I remember in my younger years, getting rejected by a girl felt like my world was crumbling. It almost felt as jarring as a friend dying or receiving a lengthy prison sentence. You get to a point where getting laid is fun, but it's not the end of the world if you miss it or get rejected. I'm a little bit more stable financially and career-wise, and as a result, dating is a lot more fun. 9. Sort your own individual life out. This is the ultimate key to solving all your problems. I was a mess as a kid. Tons of unaddressed childhood trauma from an abusive home and being financially unstable, crashing on friends' couches all the time, unhealthy, and generally just a nihilist. But then asking myself what I really want out of my life changed everything. 10. Most people don't have your best interest in mind. People often ask, if they don't like me, why don't they tell me? Or if they're not interested in me, why are they still texting me? Mixed signals are confusing, aren't they? Well, guess what? Most people don't have your best interest in mind. They have theirs. They keep you in their life even though they know they're not looking for the same thing as you do, because they don't care about wasting your time. They do what's best for them. They hit you up when they're lonely. They spend time with you when they have nothing better to do. They string you along in case they need to fill up their time someday. If you let someone waste your time, they will do it. If you value your time and yourself, don't rely on others to do the right things for you. Learn from them. Do what's best for you now. Research has found that what people think they want in a romantic partner and what they actually want aren't always the same. A study of speed daters found that people's stated ideals in a partner before the event had nothing to do with whom they actually liked when they met them. Furthermore, other research has found that the characteristics people say they find attractive in theory don't usually match up to the people in whom they become romantically interested. 12. People got issues. No one is going to come cookie-cutter clean. Everyone has a bad or dark side, whether they admit it or not. Just hope you meet the person who knows what her dark side is, because she will most likely have compassion when you show yours. Everyone you date is a teacher. If you think this way, no relationship is wasted.